Hello students, welcome back. This is the third lesson from English Literature, class 7th, DAV Board. The name of the lesson is A Hero, written by R.K. Narayan, which is a short extract from one of his collection of stories, Swami and His Friends. This is a beautiful lesson indeed. Many of you must have read his books and must be fairly acquainted with his famous character Swami, whose antics were being shown performed in the imaginary town of Malgudi. R.K. Narayan is one of the best writers India is blessed with, and his writings were brought alive by his brother R.K. Lakshman by his creative pencil. This DO has to their credit many accolades for their individual work. The lead character of this lesson is Swami, and I believe there are many of you who can relate themselves to him. His friends, his mischiefs, his boastfulness, his cowardice, his generosity, his act of kindness, etc., etc. Let us understand the title before we proceed to the lesson, A Hero. Who is a hero? Well, according to me, all of us are heroes in some way or the other. You may wonder, how is it possible? Well, one need not be strong or powerful or be a warrior to be a hero. A hero is a righteous person who plunges into action when he sees someone suffering, someone being bullied, someone being ill-treated. When we come out of our comfort zone to take care of those who need us in the time of their trouble or need, becomes a hero. Take for example today's scenario when we all of us are locked down to save ourselves, but there are a few Samaritans like the doctors, nurses, police and others who are risking their lives to take care of us. Aren't they the true heroes? Let us move ahead to the explanation of the lesson. The lesson unfolds with Swami's father asking Swami to listen to the village lad's bravery which had appeared in the newspaper. How he fought bravely with a tiger and saved his life from him. Before we proceed, let us understand the meaning of the word lad. Lad is a Scottish word which means a young boy. Father asked Swami his opinion about the incident, that is, the newspaper article. And Swami's answer changed his peaceful life into a nightmare. According to Swami's father, a person of great courage can face any difficult situation, whereas Swami opined that only a brave and grown-up person can fight the tiger, and the news was fake. This infuriated his father to such an extent that he asked Swami to prove it by asking Swami to sleep alone in the office room at night. Swami's hopes of escaping the proposition of sleeping alone in the office room were shattered even after he lured his father with his tall tales, as he failed to change his father's opinion. Swami by nature was meek and coward, and slept beside his grandmother at night, which was despised by his father, as he felt that a boy of his age should be independent and self-reliant. and felt that he was being overprotected by the two females in the house. This accusation infuriated his wife, who in return told her husband that it was not she who was to be blamed but his mother. This statement made Swami's father speechless. In order to escape from sleeping in the office room, Swami went to sleep in his usual place in the passage before his father's arrival. Grandmother, who was in a habit of narrating stories, was surprised to see Swami in the bed without his usual offer of narrating a story to him. She tried various ways to make Swami answer to her questions, but to no avail, as Swami's gestures to her to be quiet went unnoticed. As soon as father came home, he asked his wife about Swami's whereabouts. She answered innocently that he has gone to bed. Father was very angry to hear this and immediately rushed to the place where Swami slept and found that Swami had wrapped himself tightly in a blanket to escape the punishment. Father called out his name twice, to which he didn't get any response. So, the third time, Swami's father pulled off the blanket from his body. Swami found his father like an apparition, that is, like a ghost, in the dull, dim light. His father rolled the blanket and kept it under his arms, pulled Swami out of the bed and dragged him to the office room. Swami looked at his mother pleadingly. She intervened and asked her husband to let him sleep in his usual place, but to no avail. Swami was terrified of the darkness as well as the scorpions and pleaded his father to keep the lamp on. But his father denied it. So Swami requested him to keep the office door open, which his father agreed to, but with a condition that in the night he shouldn't go and sleep beside his grandmother, and warned him if he broke his promise, he would tell his friends about his cowardice, which would make him a laughing stock. This threat was something which he couldn't ignore, and hence with a heavy heart relented to it. Swami felt cut off from humanity and was pained and angry to see his father so cruel. He was unable to forgive the newspaper for publishing the news and wished that the tiger should have killed the boy. As the night advanced and the silence in the house deepened, his heart beat faster. He started remembering all the stories of ghosts and devils he had heard. The stories narrated by his friend Mani about his seeing a ghost on the banyan tree at the street's end, about Munisami's father being slapped by the devil near the river, which led him to spat out blood. All those thoughts made him terrified. To add to his fear, the street light created an eerie shadow on the wall. There was so much stillness in the air that he could hear the minutest of sound which sent chills down his spine. He expected the devil to approach him and take him away the way a fourth grade child had been carried away by a ghost to Siam or Nepal. Swami was so faint with fear that he spread his bed under the bench and crouched under it. He felt much safer and compact. He covered himself tightly in the blanket, but he couldn't get rid of the feeling of being followed by a tiger or a devil. He was so terrified that he couldn't move an inch. He felt and heard the tiger right behind his back, scratching the ground, followed by a light thud. Swami tried to open his eyes, but he couldn't open his tightly closed eyelids. He realized his loneliness when, with great effort, he tried to open his eyes and felt for his granny's presence, but felt only the lifeless wooden leg of the bench. He sweated with fright when he heard a rustling sound and moved to the edge of the bench and stared into the darkness. He heard something moving and was so terrified that he decided to act first before the devil killed him. He crawled out from under the bench, hugged the devil with all his might, and used his teeth like a mortal weapon. The devil gave an agonized, piercing cry, "Ayo!" which was followed by the tumbling and falling of the furniture. This sound brought his father, the cook, and the servant to the scene. All three jumped on the burglar, who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding ankle, groaning with pain. The next day, Swami was showered with lots of congratulations for his heroism. His friends started looking at him with great respect and pride. The headmaster called him a great scout, and the police were grateful to him for catching the notorious thief of the town. The police even asked Swami to join the police department for his chivalry. Swami, though for the sake of politeness, accepted it, but he had already made up his mind to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in his life. That night, after Swami's father returned back from the club, he inquired about Swami. He was surprised to hear from his wife that he was asleep in his usual place. Swami's father was not at all happy to hear that, and he said to his wife, "No wonder he wanted to sleep before I could return home. Clever boy." Hearing her husband's comment, Swami's mother lost her temper and warned him to let him sleep where he wants and not to risk his life. Father was speechless and he mumbled, "All right, mollycoddle and spoil him as much you like. Only don't blame me afterwards." Swami, following the whole conversation from under the blanket, was relieved tremendously when he heard his father giving up on him. So, students, did you enjoy the story? Do you think Swami is a real hero?